you dig it, you sucker?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. They come to boat. And guys, we got a whole lot to talk about here today. But first and foremost, Bradley, how you doing, dog? How you feel today?
Yo, Book, I'm good. Book, I'm good. I'm getting. I put my name on the list. I think I'm in line to get that vaccine. You know, I'm feeling good about it. You know what I mean? I'm ready to get this so I can get back to some semblance of normal. But you know what, though?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to go without the mask. You know, I know our state just said we can go without the mask.
Governor said it's all good. You can go.
It's all good, but I got love for everybody, but I don't think I'm ready to take the mask off.
Let me just put it out there. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. You know what I mean?
It seems a little rapid.
I mean, he's rushing this thing. I mean, there's no need to rush it right now. We're close to the finish line. There's no need to, all of a sudden, run out of gas right before the finish line. Next thing you lost the race. We got to start all over. I don't want that. So I'm a hold off and make sure that everything is like Marvin Gaye said, everything's everything before I even think about taking my mask off in certain situations. Now I'm going to play golf in the morning at Black Horse. Big shout out to Black Horse Golf Course. Man, out there, 290, and I'm looking forward to going out playing with foursome. My buddy Abel, the 401k hombre, gave me a shout out and say, "Hey man, come out and play some golf for the birthday." Birthday went down just a couple of days ago, guys. Turned 56, and I must say, man, I don't feel too much different. Actually, I feel a little bit better, maybe. But the thing is, man, you just keep on keeping on. You don't you don't look in the rearview mirror of life. You cannot do that. So for me, man, I'm so geared up about what's next and what's around the corner. So booyah, here it is, man. Hopefully, you young cats out there get to that place one day as well.
What did the king do for his birthday? Was there anything special, or did you just chill with the family and have a good night?
Well, Sunday, day before the birthday, I treated myself to a round of golf. Went out and played 18 and shot at 83 too. And hadn't been out in a while, so I felt real good out there. I was like, man, yeah, big ups. So hopefully, I can recreate that same thing tomorrow. But no, man, I just sit around the house. The wife and the kids, they pampered me. Mom, they everybody had a birthday card for me. Of course, they had the balloon, they had the cake. They had the dinner, but I cooked it. But but no, man, just being around the fam for me, man, it was awesome, man. Being around my boy Kendrick James and my daughter Cody Rhodes, man. It was and my wife, of course. It was just beautiful. It was bliss being here at the house, man. I was able to sit out on the patio out back, able to hit a few balls on the little pitching range back there. Like I say, man, I'm in my golf mode ever since the PGA got in touch with me and said, man, they want me on that celebrity tour. I've been like, man, I've been in the zone. I've been in my golf room every day on the simulator. And the thing is, on the simulator, man, what's crazy is I'm shooting 68s. 65s, so I got to fit me to recreate that when I get out on the course. Somehow this thing is not equating. Maybe the ratio or something is off on it. But no, man, I'm having a great time just trying to find what it's like, man, to be one of those guys out there playing, in front of the crowd. Hopefully the crowds will be back real soon too, so we can actually be in front of the crowds out there. Hopefully I'll be out there better sooner than later for me. But I definitely, I tell young people, preparation is the only look you're ever going to have. So I'm definitely preparing to look good when I get out there, no matter where I'm at, no matter who I'm playing against or who I'm playing with. I need them to recognize, man, OG from the wrestling business, he ain't that bad. You know what I mean? I may not be that great, but not being that bad on the golf course is pretty good.
Yeah, no, I'm the thing is, golf seems to be a game where unless you have like the natural talent for it when you're younger, but like all the older guys are the ones who always seem to master golf. It seems like a game that you can play into your later age, like especially in your 70s even, and you can still get better at it. Because the guys, I remember, I think we played one time with like a twosome that was a little bit, they were older guys, and they were whacking the hell out of the ball. I mean, 200, 300 yards, like no problem.
Well, you do learn as you get older, I think. But I was just watching on the Golf Channel today and talking about a lot of the collegiate golfers, and that's where a lot of the big time like guys like Tiger come from. And just talking about how the rush of still having the excitement of playing the game at that age, so I think it's just one of those games that's just universal. You just so happen to be able to play it a little bit longer than most sports, but you still get that same, that rush, that euphoria after you hit a good shot. And it's just hitting the ball. It's just you and the ball and the course. And that's what's so beautiful about the game for me, man. I can't wait to get out there tomorrow, man. Like I say, Blachowicz is going down 11:30 tee time. So be on the lookout for your man Booker T. And I won't be happy. That's the thing, I won't have the mask on out on the course. You know what I mean? That's one place that you can take the mask off, feel like you somewhat free a little bit, but as far as going to the club, I ain't finna do that right now, man. I ain't finna go partake in no drinking at the bars and all of that stuff like that, man. Because like I said, we're close, guys. We're really close to the finish line. And once I get the vaccine, and once hopefully the majority of the people in the H get the vaccine, hey baby, the party's over. Oh, it's over, man.
It's on and popping.
Okay, I can't.
But there are people in the like I have friends that I follow on Instagram, and I'll look at their Instagram stories, and they're in the clubs, like in the club, like the club. You know what I mean? Bottles going out. You see sparklers, music, DJ, girls scantily clad, but they're out there. Yeah, they're out there, and I don't understand the mentality of that one. Like if you want to go to a family event and it's like your close friends and family, maybe having a dinner at your house, understood, completely understand. Mm-hmm. But you're going to a small, hot, sweaty, loud club, you're out of your damn mind, my man.
Just bump it up a notch, the strip club. You know what I mean? All that scattered ass. You think Corona can't get you? I'm just saying. Nah, man.
That would be a damn shame. It's like, hey, well, so where'd you, Joe, where'd you pick up the coronavirus? Oh, over there on Richmond Avenue. Oh, were you grocery shopping or something?
I was at the Ritz. No, man. Like I say, man, we got a lot we got to unpack today, man. Bobby Lashley, of course, winning the WWE Championship, UFC 259, going down this
Three
week.
titles on the line.
Exactly, as well as AEW Dynamite going down tonight with Shaquille O'Neal making his debut. Paul White, formerly known as The Big Show, making his debut, as well as going into the pay-per-view this weekend, Revolution. It's a lot we got to unpack, man. And the thing is, man, I know most people, man, they want to get, probably, right into, some wrestling. And my thing is, I think that's where we got to start. We got to start there. Just I know we got to take a break. But the feeling when my man Bobby Lashley won the championship, after all of the shenanigans that went on, how'd you feel, man? How'd you feel when Bobby? Forget about the shenanigans, but how did you feel when Bobby actually won the title?
I felt great. Because the championship went on somebody who absolutely deserved it for both the work that they've put in and out in the ring, and for the way that they've been presented on television for the last several months. I thought it was the right call. I thought it was against the right opponent, and I loved the story of the night. I felt great.
Yeah, it was the right thing to do. Bringing back my accent from TNA. A lot of people, hated that accent from TNA. But I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back right now. We got to take a break, guys. We'll be back because we got to definitely talk about this. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer, and this is for all up-and-coming professional wrestlers, male and female. You want to know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts. You got a question, I got the answer. If you want to know how, join my masterclass. Go to realityandwrestling.com for all the information, starting on Thursday and every Thursday after that, guys. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. And I know you can dig that.
The Academy.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Of course, guys, Wrestling 101 will be going down tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. It's going to be an awesome class. Going to be talking about a little bit of everything, man, especially with the influx of what's going on with professional wrestling as of late. A lot of old school, a lot of new school. Just say, for instance, in AEW. And the thing is, was it's working or not? That's something we got to talk about. And that's the kind of thing that we're going to be talking about Wrestling 101, as far as old school wrestling compared to new school wrestling, and how do we make it mesh and make it work, more importantly than anything, and become a star. So guys, if you want to join in, go to realityofwrestling.com, get all your information, join in tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time. Don't miss out. Don't get shut out. Do it now. I do it for you. That's one of my old lines from back in the day. But my thing is, Bradley.
Yes.
Bobby Lashley, man. Bobby Lashley, 16 years in the game. Okay. Ooh. 16 years, man. It doesn't, time flies, man. Time flies. Bobby came into the WWE around 2005. You know what? What's crazy is I didn't even realize it was that soon Bobby was in the WWE before he was working with me in a program for the King of the Ring.
Yeah, I mean, was it the next year?
It's the next year.
Yeah.
It was the following year. So Bobby he was pretty much green as green could be when he was in the ring working with me. And the thing is, I didn't know that. I didn't know how green he was. I thought he had some experience, somewhere or another, and then finally got a shot. But obviously, Bobby was a guy who was just walking into the business. And I remember one of Bobby's first matches. It was with a guy by the name of Simon Dean.
It was his very first match.
Okay. And I remember going to Bobby, and I talked to Bobby after that match. And this is crazy. I talked to Bobby after that match, and I said, Bobby, what are you doing, man? You going out there bumping for this guy like that? I said, look at you, man. I said, you as big as Brock Lesnar. I say, man, you're it. That's what I told Bobby the first time I met him. And then and Bobby said, man, I just got here, man. I think I better just go along with the program. And I was like, man, all right. So me and Bobby, we didn't speak for maybe a month or so. 2 months later, I wouldn't even talk to him after that, just because I was like, okay, he's going to sink or swim on his own. Okay, I'm trying to help you out here. And after a while, Bobby, things wasn't working out that well for him. And he went to Charmel, and he asked Charmel, man, does Booker not like me? And she goes, well, first time you talked to Booker, you said the wrong thing. So he came back and he talked to me, about that, and came down to the school. And Bobby started working. I started working with Bobby and just showing him some few key things not to do. You know what I mean? Bobby, don't ever do that ever again, because he was so used to being a collegiate wrestler. And then I remember we went overseas, and Bobby, to thank me, he bought me like a vintage bottle of Jack Daniels that went like, I don't know how far back. We drank the whole bottle. And no, seriously.
I was about to ask, did you keep it? Do you still have it? You're
Oh,
like,
no,
we
no.
drank it all.
No, we drank the whole bottle. And from that point, then Bobby and I did the angle together, King of the Ring. I ended up coming out on top of it. And man, Bobby and I, we had some the matches Bobby and I had, we had some really, really great chemistry because after I got in Bobby's head, he threw everything out of the window and just what I teach in my wrestling school. You know, we don't talk about sell and whatnot. We talk about act and react. And he started acting and reacting properly. And man, he started whooping my ass, man. And we started having some of the best, stuff that was going on there. I went on and I became, like I say, the world champion. And then I knew when it was my time to leave the company. I knew it was time for me to go. But I also knew that Bobby Lashley was going to be the heir apparent to Booker T after I left. Say Bobby's going to pick up right where I left off, and he's going to take it on and make it even better. And then Bobby left the company shortly after I did. And I was like, what the hell did you do that for? Because I just thought he was in perfect prime position there again to pick up right where I left off. And he went to the Indies, and then, of course, but before he left, he had that moment with, Donald Trump and Vince McMahon, Umaga, WrestleMania.
Battle of the Billionaires.
I mean, ECW champion. I mean, the guy, he was on his way. And then he said, I'm out of here. And I know he was going through a lot of personal issues back then. We don't have to get into that or anything. But he left. He went to the Indies, went to Japan. And then wound up in TNA, doing that for a while. And the thing is, I think Bobby, when you look at Bobby's run in TNA, I really think Bobby brought something to that company.
He did.
Agree with me or not?
No, I was actually about to bring up, it was the first pairing we saw of MVP and Bobby Lashley, right? Was back in TNA. And when Bobby was the world champion over there.
Before MVP got fired. Right?
Why you always got to dunk on Envy? Why always got to dunk on Envy? But yeah, when Bobby had the headband, he was the world champion. He played on the heel side. I thought he did a great job, and really, I thought that run is what primed him and got him ready for his WWE return, right? And when he came back to the company in 2018, Bobby, I was like, wow, Bobby looks like he's figured out what his role is inside the square circle, and he's ready for that main stage. And I'm surprised that it took 3 years almost of his return for him to get to this position now. But I thought he was kind of ready day one when he came back after that TNA run.
Think about it, man. 3 years is really, really quick.
Well, it's gone by quick because I remember when he came back, and it seems like it was just
3
minute
years. Not the time going by, but 3 years is actually really quick for him to come back in the company and then wind up the WWE champion. What it tells me, man, is okay. These guys, they can say whatever they want to say, but Bobby goes out and does one thing and one thing only, and that's punish. You know what I mean? He go out and make it becomes believable when you watch Bobby go out and perform.
Yeah,
and that's what Bobby brings to the table now. Bobby looks like a grown man.
Grown man.
I'm serious. And now he's got that scar on the side of his face, and it makes him look even meaner. And his body at 44 years old, like I say, there's nobody in the company that looks better than Bobby Lashley. Is Bobby Lashley a prototype of the old school? You better believe it. You better believe he is. And that's what wrestling was when we watched it back in the day, was guys going out there simulating a fight and making it look as real as it possibly could look. And that's what Bobby Lashley brings to the table. That I put a video out and I say, Bobby, it's your time, man. This is Bobby Lashley's time right now, because just say, for instance, in the UFC, you see certain divisions where they get wiped out, because a guy that went through the whole division. Bobby Lashley is that guy that can go the whole division, and you're going to be wondering who are they going to find to put against this guy to perhaps stop him. You know, and of course, that Brock Lesnar is out there, you know, lurking still in the wings, you know, for a big match, you know, somewhere down the line. I wouldn't want that match to happen anywhere anytime soon, because there again, to clean out the division, you got to do it a certain way. And I just think right now, you look at anybody on the roster, and you stand them up next to Bobby Lashley, you're gonna say it's no comparison. I don't care who it is.
What's weird about Bobby is, one, I think that he's the best aging wrestler maybe ever, because if you look at a picture of him in 05 when he broke in, and you look at a picture of him now, other than this distinguishing scar, you would think it was just from maybe a year later. He looks great. For 44, he looks to be in the same shape. And he also did something that is like counterintuitive. Normally, when you have a physique like Bobby Lashley, you just come out in trunks. Right? Trunks, so you can show off how big everything is. Bobby actually switched recently to the tights, the long tights, right?
Yeah.
And it actually makes him look more menacing. I don't know if it's because we're just focused on his upper body, but he looks better with the long tights. And as far as what you say on paper, he looks like a killer. It looks like no one should be able to stop him. I would be interested to know what your thoughts are on where this is going to go. And I think we also, in the next segment, need to talk about the Miz's involvement in making that moment even more special. I think Miz deserves a lot of credit for what he did on Monday Night Raw. Obviously, the ultimate praise needs to go to Bobby Lashley, but I also really love what Miz was able to do. And I see the chat is on fire right now. People from all over the world want to talk about Bobby Lashley. I even see one of your big fans, of someone I know, Jonathan Fields, is in the chat. He's a big Booker T fan. And we also have a super chat right here. Thanks, Book. Love the commentary. Booyah. And I'm going to get with you.
Heck yeah, man. Oh, man, this is a great time, man. Last night, actually on Monday night, when I watched it, I was like, man, and I told you I was going to text you if he won or lost, man, but I just had to just sit back, and I was like, man, good for Bobby. Good for Bobby Lashley. Good for the business. I think everybody won on this deal right here. And you asked, you know, where's this thing going to go? We're going to talk about that. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. Back in a minute. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Talking Bobby Lashley right now. But before we talk about Bobby, you know, we got to talk about the Miz. You was talking about how the Miz, you know, the way he played his role. Know your role. You know, shut your mouth. That's definitely true. I tell you, man, I watched Mike Mizanovich. I call him Mizan. That's what I call him at work. You know, what's up, Mizan? But man, the dude is such a artist, and those guys in the locker room, if they didn't have their, you know, mental notebook out and, you know, jotting out everything that was going on, they really missed the boat. And I say that because the Miz, you know, of course, he was thinking about the WWE when he was doing everything he had to do that night. But the Miz was in his Hollywood mode. He was definitely thinking about, you know, man, of course, some director is going to see this and they're going to say that. No, I'm serious because I'm telling you, people can say what they want to say about me, but when I was playing King Booker, I was definitely thinking about Hollywood. I was thinking about the directors that may be watching and saying, "Man, this guy's pretty good." What did he take lessons at? When I watched Miz from the beginning of the show all the way to when he dropped the title, from the stomach ache, he played to nothing but making you want to just hate him. Like, come on, man, we know you're lying. Come on, man. But he didn't come up off of it. He didn't grimace and then look up after the guy looked away and act like he was playing, like his stomach was hurt. It really looked like Miz needed to go to the hospital.
Yeah, he's laying on the ground.
No, it became real. And then look at his face. I was like, man, this is some good stuff right here. And then when Miz came out and grabbed the title and just took off running, he's like, man, I'm out of here, man. And then he talking about how, man, I'm a company guy. I need this. I deserve to go to WrestleMania with this title. It was such a what I call Shakespeare from the beginning of the scene between Bobby and the Miz along with MVP. It was just gold, man. It was gold all the way. And you say it was Bobby, but I'm gonna tell you that thing that could not have been done without someone like the Miz. I was reading some. I tried not to get into comments and stuff about people when they're talking about me. Because a lot of times people maybe they just didn't understand the bulk of my career. But I heard this one. I read this one comment where this guy said, I can't remember who it was, but he said, Booker T, he was a top guy because no matter what they gave, whatever storyline they gave him, he made it gold. No matter how big or small it was, he made it gold. And that's what made him, a top guy. And I think that's what top guys do. That's what The Miz did with that week of having the title, was make it as memorable, because people gonna be talking about this for a long time. Not Miz winning the championship, but gosh, you remember the night the Miz lost the title to Bobby Lashley? How great! That's what they're going to be talking about, and the people, from the outside looking in, or sometimes from the inside, looking out, inside looking in. They don't know either. Sometimes, So I'm just saying, man, the Miz definitely was star quality material on Monday night.
I mean, and then also everything that Miz did was great. And the way that they structured the show with the countdown clock, at 9 p.m. Eastern, you're defending the championship. By 10 p.m. Eastern, you got to defend it no matter what. It was great. But you know what? The clock got me. It got me to watch the entire show. So whoever's idea that was, it was great. And Miz did such a good job, like you pointed out, of you hated him. You're like, come on, man, just defend the title already. You're the champion, defend the title. And the way it was structured, there wasn't a person watching that show who wanted The Miz to retain or who didn't want Bobby Lashley to win the title. Because when he came out the stomach ache, I was a little worried that they were going to push this to Fastlane, right? And then the count out, I was a little worried. What were you going to say?
The Lumberjacks.
The Lumberjacks was great. It was great.
It was just great. It was
such a good idea, And Shane's like, I got it. Lumberjacks. So there's no running. There's no hiding. You can't get counted out. And then even when Miz tries to disqualify himself at the beginning by swinging the title, that was the only piece of offense he had. Now think about this too. One more thing. Think about a guy who else would be in a main event position like Miz was, the WWE champion, and be willing to be completely railroaded offensively in a match, right? Normally, if you lose the title, like when you always tell the story when you and Ray worked for the title. Ray said, "Book, you're going overnight. I'm going to get all my stuff in. Every move that I do, I'm doing it, all right? Because I'm losing. I'm going under, right? Miz had 0 offense for a 3-minute match as the WWE champion, all for one purpose, to make Bobby Lashley look almighty. So I give him the utmost props and respect.
Let me tell you right now, man, I don't know. By no means, am I saying something that I know from behind the scenes or anything like that. But I can almost guarantee you it was the Miz said, this is the way I want to go out and do it. I'm serious. Just because he's that type of guy. To want to, for me, was I always want to lose in the middle. Right in the middle, looking up at the lights. For some reason, it was something about looking up at the lights just made me feel, good about, my work. And to lose the way he did, man, it was great, man. It was just great. And I give Miz a whole lot of credit. I give Bobby Lashley, 100%. I'm proud of him to the utmost for cashing in, sticking it out. Leaving and coming back, going through the grind, having, what was Leo Rush at first, Lana,
Lana.
Angel, and then, boom, the rocket get put on him, once he joined the Hurt Business because it became real. Big ups to MVP, and I appreciate the company, man, for, pulling off a really, really great angle and a great show. And I just think that's what wrestling is. That what Miz did. That's what wrestling is. It really is. Of course, we got to get into certain more serious angles. Then you got to get into your just say for instance your scientific angles, like what Randy Orton is doing right now. No, I mean I'm serious.
Science fiction.
Well, I mean, come on, that's what I'm. That's pretty much what it is. But it's a place. The 24/7 championship. It's a place for so many different things in professional wrestling, and I think that's where company won more than anything. And I think we got to do so much more of being able to think out of the box and give the people what they want to see, opposed to trying to follow the internet, and it's crazy, just like what I was talking to you about as far as the spoiler, as far as the Miz is not going to he's only going to have the championship for a week. That does it spoil it for me a little bit? Did it take away a little bit of what was going on with Bobby and the Miz? Perhaps, but it still got me. Okay, it still got me. Would have been better if I didn't have to hear that? Oh man, it would have been so much better. And that's what I'm talking about. We gotta, figure out how to close those loopholes, man, and fix those little things like that, because I just think the show could be so much better when the people know only what we want them to know. I what the thing is, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. You know what I mean? But in this instance, I don't think so, man. I don't think so. And that's what we got to talk about. That's what we got to talk about. AEW, man. AEW is going on, going down here, right now as we speak. Paul White is going to be making his debut tonight. Shaquille O'Neal is going to be wrestling in the ring in a tag match tonight. So my thing is this, man. You gotta be able to think outside the box when it comes to professional wrestling. And I was listening to some comments about, Shaquille O'Neal, is he going to really wrestle and what is he going to do in this thing? It's a wrestling match. You know what I mean? Hopefully he's going to wrestle. Hopefully he's going to get his hands dirty. And the thing is he going to do it like me? Is he going to do it like, Ric Flair? Perhaps not. But no, I'm serious. No, but the thing is, man, did David Arquette do it that way when he was, did who else? How many others, who else?
Wait, Jay Leno?
Dennis Rodman. Did he do that great?
Rodman was all right.
Rodman was all right.
Jay Leno is a good one.
Rodman was all right, but if he wasn't Rodman, would you book him?
No.
Exactly. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame.
suplex, superplex from the champion. If enough damage hasn't been done already to Angela, that has got to be the exclamation point. She's looking for the 450. Oh! From the top rope, she's calling for shooting star press. Shooting star press cover. 1, 2, 3.
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Got to talk about it, man. It's going to be going down in a bit. Shaquille O'Neal is going to be making his debut in AEW with the mixed tag match, right?
Mixed tag match. Shade Cargill. Then Cody Rhodes is teaming with Red Velvet.
Red Velvet. Yeah, man. Right. It's definitely a match that's out of the box. I don't know a whole lot about Cargill. I don't know a whole lot about Red Velvet. But I can tell you, man, Cargill, she is jacked, bro. She looked like she should be in one of these Miss Olympia contests or something, because, you know, as far as physique wise, you know, she looks like she's in shape and been training, and as well as Red Velvet. She don't look like a slouch either. Mixed tag with Cody Rhodes, as well as with Shaquille O'Neal. I don't know how this thing is going to play out. I don't know what the end game is, but it should be. I tell you what, it should be entertaining. Okay, to see Shaq in the ring doing something. Cargill, it's going to be the first time I think we've seen her actually in the ring as well, right?
Yes, her AEW debut.
And Red Velvet, I think she did something all right already, right?
I think she's done some stuff on Dark and and Dynamite. I think she's been on there before, maybe once or twice. You know, I think that the celebrity bar in AEW, as far as the talent they've brought in, it's set a little bit lower, so Shaq can only improve. Remember, we saw Mike Tyson for a second in AEW coming out with Henry Cejudo, and he had the wardrobe malfunction, if you will. We had Snoop Dogg jumping off the top rope with the Superfly splash, and I think his feet hit first before anything else on the splash. So the bar's set low. Shaq can only improve from those two, right? They can only improve, and he is as big of a name as anybody, both literally and figuratively. I just wonder, do you think it's interesting that both Shaq and the Big Show are making their AEW debuts on the same night? Because remember, forever it was rumored you were going to have Big Show versus Shaq at Mania, right? At Mania 32 in Dallas, Big Show, Shaq face off in the Battle Royal. I just think it's very interesting that Paul White and Shaquille O'Neal are on the same show on the same night for the first time.
Oh, man, I was thinking about that as well. I was like, man, this is ironic. You saw the new Paul White T-shirt, right?
No, I missed it. What did it say?
No BS, Paul White.
I get it.
Oh,
I get it. They're clever. They're clever there.
Ducky, quack, quack. I wish I had the duck to come up for you right there and splash water on everybody. But nah, man. What do you think about that right there, man?
I like to play on words. I definitely like it, right? No Big Show, no bull, you know what? I can go with it. The thing is, you got to capitalize on that stuff, right? You got to capitalize on it. Man, I think that's a good T-shirt. That's a good T-shirt.
You know what? I'm serious. I thought that was a good one. I got to say it. I thought that was a good one. No BS. That's it. And in writing right there is his name under it, Paul White, and, you know, in small letters. You know, so I thought that was pretty cool, but definitely making the debut on the same night as Shaquille O'Neal is making his in-ring debut with Cody Rhodes, the mind, you know, that thinks wrestling. You know, I'm sure Cody Rhodes is not going to let a moment like this slip away. That's in my opinion. I'm just thinking. I'm just thinking out loud.
Because too, like, I mean, one way or another, because, okay, what would it say for Cody if Shaq comes in and just beats Cody, you know, in the AEW ring? I don't know if that would be the best thing in the world for the AEW roster, right? But let me ask you this, though. Hold on. But then again, you don't want your celebrity come in and then take an L, because what does that do for him?
That's the thing. I'm not finna try to book the show.
I'm pontificating.
But
So
I
what's the
can't-
purpose? But look, book, what would be the perfect ending to this? Paul White comes in, wrecks havoc, choke slams Shaq.
If in the perfect, if I was booking the show, if I had a show like this, and hypothetically I was booking it, I had, a guy like this coming in, and I had a guy like Shaq, making his debut. Would they actually end up crossing paths at some point in the night? Perhaps that's the way I'm gonna speak on that. But I wouldn't want to ruin the angle or anything, or even think about a spoiler and it actually happened or anything like that. I would just rather it organically, happen with those guys in their show tonight. And I'm just saying, that's why I just don't want to get ahead of the horse or anything. I don't want the carriage to get ahead of the horse on this thing, just because I do want to feel like, man, I'm watching wrestling again if it actually happens that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just the old school there again in me.
Let me ask you this. Okay, just one more like booking question, because one thing that bothers me now when I look back is when Eric Bischoff came into WWE on that episode of Raw, the first person that he interacts with in his WWE career was you. I don't know if you remember this, but you're cutting the promo and he goes, "Hey, Book, great to see you," and then he keeps on walking.
Yeah.
To me, it's crazy that they didn't save that moment, for his first appearance in WWE, for when Vince called him out onto the stage just 5 minutes later. It would have been the biggest shock to the system ever. The crowd reaction would have been through the roof, right? You kind of tease it, and then we kind of can put the pieces together on ourselves. I say that to say, wouldn't it have been great? Couldn't you have just waited a week to bring the Big Show out on television and it had been a surprise? Think about that reaction inside of the Daly's Plaza. Think about the internet reaction to that. It was already massive. It would have been umpteen times massive.
It would have been, but when you're a business, I think, like that, and you get a free agent, like a Big Show, when you sign that contract, you want the world to know it. I don't think it's something. I don't think it's that part right there is not. It's not a game. Okay, this part is real. Guys, we just picked up one of the hottest free agents, in the wrestling world today, and boom, here he is right here. To save that, to play it like it's an angle, me personally, I wouldn't do it that way. I would play it like it's real, because I need for you to feel like it's real. And when we heard about that, it shocked a lot of people, and people go, "Wow, man, okay." They start thinking about it from a real perspective, not a show perspective. And I think those two really, I could be wrong. But those two, for me, I think has always got to be separate. Now, if I'm, in different situation, perhaps, but in this situation, I think they did the right thing.
But Cody Rhodes was on a media call earlier today, and he actually ruffled some feathers. Now there's a new internet beef going on. I don't know if you've seen it. Have you seen that he and Pat McAfee have been trading shots with each other? Have you seen this? Yeah,
I saw a little bit of something about that.
Cody said that Pat had been angling for a job with AEW.
I saw that too. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if Pat McAfee has, reached out to the other side, and that's the thing, man. When you messing around, talking, saying stuff on the internet, and the thing is, this goes to this situation as well. Shaq said he's gonna be the one that had the greatest celebrity match of all times. Pat McAfee took offense to it. But, how do Pat McAfee know Shaq was talking about him? You know what I mean? He could have been talking about Lawrence Taylor. You know what I mean? He could have been talking about, Muhammad Ali. He could have been talking about anybody other than Pat McAfee, but for Pat McAfee to respond to something that Shaquille O'Neal said. Now, if he is behind the scenes, trying to sneak in a back door, trying to get through a crack window in AEW, and then say something like that and get called out by Cody Rhodes. Hey, man, that's what happens when you're on the internet. Okay? I'm just saying, man, keep that stuff to yourself, man. Stay in your lane. Pat McAfee got a good gig, I think, with WWE. I don't know if it's Trouble in Paradise. I don't know if the courtship is not the same anymore. I don't. Maybe the flavor of the month has changed. I don't know. But I'm just saying. That's just me. What do you think, man?
What's bad is I didn't even register at first that Pat McAfee, would have counted as a celebrity match because he seems so ingrained with the product, right? But I will say,
as well, he's a football player. You don't kind of look at football players as celebrities.
They're not as big of celebrities as NBA players. And I know that sounds crazy, but think about it. Their face is always covered. You see them for very limited amounts of time. They're not always out on the court, and they're not as dynamic personalities by and large.
Athletes.
Yeah, and you don't categorize them. Shaq is a celebrity.
Shaq is a celebrity.
I mean, he's a rapper, actor, basketball player.
He does commercials. He does everything.
He does everything. He's a celebrity.
Exactly.
But if we count Pat McAfee, the bar is set very high. Bar set very high.
Bar is set high, but we'll continue. We got a whole lot to turn it up, guys. Stick around. You're in the hall.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. I'm Christian Harloff.
I am Mark Baby Carousels.
We started the Movie Trivia Schmoedown back 2014.
The Schmoedown, as we know, we got a little bit of a WWE flavor to it. You get 8 different questions from the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Galaxy. Patreon question. This one comes from Jake the Hammer. The wheel round.
You're kidding me.
This is why we play the Schmoedown.
What the Movie Trivia Schmoedown is all about.
Star Wars Inner Geekdom teams.
Singles, Celebrity Schmoedown. Get ready for it. It's going to be something.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown.
Shoop! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, guys. Yeah, man. Things are heating up, man. Things are heating up, like JR would say.
Business is about to pick up.
Business is about to pick up, man. AEW got this pay-per-view coming up. AEW Revolution going down, and the signature match is a AEW exploding barbed wire death match. Okay.
You almost can't say it with a straight face,
Let me say that again. AEW exploding barbed wire death match going down, and the participants Kenny Omega and John Moxley. And I went back and looked at some of these old matches. I pulled up some, and man, those kind of matches, man, they were some. Mick Foley. Mick Foley was a signature in Japan doing those type of matches.
Yeah, and FMW.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, it looked violent. It looked dangerous. It looked like somebody could really, really get hurt. And if it's anything like that, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be wild. Like they said, things are gonna be at the Capitol. It's gonna be wild.
So I don't know if I really understand what a barbed wire exploding barbed wire death match really is. Is it one fall to a finish and just you use all this stuff? Is that how it goes?
Well, it means that, just for instance, you can come out bloodied with the barbed wire, explosions, bombs.
You can lose a limb.
Will be going off, which therefore death may happen. Am I correct or what?
Let me ask you this. In your illustrious 30-plus year career, 35 championships to your name, the most decorated superstar in WCW history, one of 4 men to be a 2-time Hall of Famer, how many exploding barbed wire death matches have you done?
Let me tell you a story. First,
Okay.
before we even get there. My first trip, 1991. I land in Narita Airport, Tokyo, Japan. I was placed and housed at a little place called the Tokyo Inn. My brother and I, a little restaurant hooked up next to it, Sunny Eggs or whatever it was. Good breakfast. First night we were there, it was cool. Boom. Walked out the hotel the next morning, getting ready to go to the gym. 1991. And the first person I run into outside of my brother and the guys that were on the tour that was in the hotel from another company was Sabu. And Sabu had looked like he had just been in an AEW exploding barbed wire death match the night before. And I asked myself, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Because I don't want to look like that. My brother had scars everywhere. I mean, forehead, his arms, his shoulders, his chest, everywhere. And it scared me a little bit. And I was like, wow, man, I mean, is this what it takes to get in the business, to have to, and it literally, it shocked me, but no, anytime a promoter talked to me about having any kind of match like that, I tried to talk him out of it and let him know that it probably would not be a good idea, just because it would probably be the worst match anyone has ever seen. You know what? I wasn't a big fan of, those type of matches. I can honestly say it. Okay, I'm afraid to get hurt. Okay, I don't like it. It does not feel good at all. All right. I remember they asked me, to jump off the cage one time and do a cage dive. And if you guys can find it anywhere, I can just about guarantee you it's going to be the worst cage dive you ever seen in your life. I'm going to tell you that right now. I rolled off that thing like molasses. I did not want to die. Thinking about Snooker and all those guys, Kurt Angle, forget about it. None of that. So I just never been a fan of, that kind of stuff. But you got the perfect person and a John Moxley. You got the perfect person, and someone like Kenny Omega. Hopefully, the pyrotech guys be on point as far as making sure everybody's safety is first. I saw Darby Allin pull the old GI Bro act just last week and came out on the zip line to the ring. That's a WCW idea. And I was the one that did that in WCW. If anybody can remember, G.I. Bro was the one that did that. Same thing with Darby Allin. I think I might have even came to the ring with Steve.
Doing that, right?
No, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. You know what I mean? So hopefully that part will be taken care of as far as all safety and precautions. But as far as the candidates, you got the perfect guys as far as going out there and throwing caution to the wind. And I don't think they're going to be thinking about any thing as far as the way I thought about it, as far as going out and, if you're going to get hurt or something. And I don't see that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the outcome of the, AEW exploding barbed wire death match
For the championship. I think I said this before, but when I was younger, the hardcore matches were my favorite things to watch. When I was young, watching WWE, the hardcore title, I loved the trash cans, the chairs, the Mick Foley 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire that he sets on fire and they're going through tape. I loved it all. I watch it now, I cringe. Even when I watch old stuff and I know the guy's okay, I cringe. I go, oh God, I don't want to see that. And for me, it doesn't appeal to me anymore. Like, I think the most extreme match I like is the cage match. Hell in a Cell. That's the most I like. Anything past that, I just don't even get any enjoyment watching it because I'm cringing the whole time.
But I think what we were just talking about earlier, as far as, Bobby Lashley being the throwback.
Right.
to what wrestling was, and we watched it because, you know, it was such a variety of so many different things going.
There's a place for it.
Exactly. So to have a match like this, there again, it's a place on the show for it. It's a place and time for it. It's not a match that you're gonna have every week or anything like that. But it's definitely one of those matches that we have not heard about in professional wrestling in perhaps 15, 20 years.
And I don't know if there's ever been one in a major promotion stateside.
I don't think so. I mean, but we haven't heard about these type of matches since Mick Foley was a young guy doing these type of matches, like you said earlier in FMW. So to just to hear about it in professional wrestling is something that definitely make you think about tuning in. And I got to check this out and see exact. And then if you see something that you like that make you feel a certain way because you cringing, you're gonna watch it again. You know what I mean? You know, I watch First 48 every morning I wake up. You know what I mean? I'm serious.
I would now. You know who I wonder. You know, I wonder how a friend of the show, Renee Paquette, is going to feel watching this match. You know, any day they're going to welcome their I believe it's a daughter. I think they're having a little girl into this world, and she's got to watch John go through whatever he's going to do. Because John Moxley, I give the utmost respect to. This man seems like he's 100% fearless of everything. And I already know he's planning something crazy. He's going to do something crazy in this match. He's kind of like Shane McMahon meets Mick Foley. Like, you know, whatever's going to happen in the match, it's going to be nuts. You just don't know what they're going to do. Yeah. He's going to jump off and into something. I already know that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, man. That's the beauty of, there again, wrestling, like opening up to, you know, like the cinematic matches, you know, being able to, you know, just think outside the box a little bit, not take wrestling so serious to where we have to look at it like it's, there again, boxing, MMA, that type of combat sport, because it's not. And I was looking at I was reading an article, and they was talking about the Young Rock, how that show is, you know, really making wrestling, you know, making people look at wrestling again all over and take a second look at, you know. And the thing is, when people watch Young Rock, and especially if they're the parent, the first thing that they're going to think about is how wrestling was back then and how awesome it was, man, and how great it was. And then they're, you know, having their kids, you know, talking to their kids about it and whatnot. And their wrestling could actually, you know, make a huge turnaround if, you know, we start thinking about this kind of stuff here, right here, opposed to, you know, what the fans are saying on the internet. I'm just saying, because I love the business, man. I love this business. I love when it's done right, to where when you do something, it pops you, even though we know exactly what it is. That's what it's supposed to do. Guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Can you dig it, you sucker?
You know how WWE is, man. You're on the road, you're on the road. Like,
yeah.
You're working your ass off, right? Mm-hmm. So I happened to have a Sunday off, and I was sitting at home, and I had literally an ice bag on both knees. And then my bell on my gate, bell just started going off. Over and over and over, right? And I'm like, what the hell? What the God? So I jumped up, the ice bags flew everywhere, right? And I go out, open my door, I go, who is it? And they go, you know, it's Booker T here. I said, oh, hell. So I walked to the door and I said, God, get away from here, guys. This is my house, you know. And literally it was an 18-year-old and like a 19-year-old. One was on a mini bike and one was on a go-kart. One of them goes, we want some autographs. I said, get out of here. He said, well, F you then, N-word. And boom, literally. I was so mad, right? They took off on the go-kart and the mini bike. And literally my head is fuming. I go and jump into my Hummer, right? Charmel's like, baby, no, don't do it, baby, stop. So I'm like, no. I jumped in, roll out of the gate, right? I go down the street. I look both ways. I couldn't see him, right?
And I just said, I'm gonna take a guess and go right. So I went right, went down a little bit, and I saw both of them, okay? And I was like, oh, I got him now. Now the one on the mini bike, it was a little ditch area. He got through that ditch area. The Hummer couldn't get there. The one on the go-kart, he tried to go. I blocked him off. Now, he turns around, and he's in these people's yard. In this yard that this go-kart is in is probably a couple of $1 million house. He starts doing donuts in these people's front yard. Dirt, grass going everywhere. And I know these people were so upset when they came outside that next morning.
What the hell?
So he comes out on the street. He rolls down the street a little bit. I get behind him in the Hummer. I'm on him like this, right? Rolling down the street. So he gets scared. So he goes in some more people's yard and he goes a little ditch. And the chain comes off the go-kart. I commence to power walk towards him. I say, you better not run. I grab him by the back of the head, takes him to my Hummer, tosses him in. I get in the Hummer and I go, okay, now call me the N-word now. And then he was so scared. And he said, I'm sorry, my friend. Oh, God. I say, okay, I'll tell you what, you're going to take me to your house right now because I want to talk to your parents and tell them exactly what you said to me, right? So we're literally about no more than 2 blocks away. Before I got him a block towards where we were going to, there was several police cars behind me.
Driver, pull over now!
A brother walking in the neighborhood late. Something could happen. Shup. Hey guys, we back. We back. Hey, we're still talking wrestling right now. We're going to be talking some UFC 259 going down this week. Israel Adesanya, Blachowicz going down. Light heavyweight championship is on the line. Definitely going to be looking forward to that. But Sting, Darby Allin versus Team Taz. There's another one right there. I think, we was talking about how Sting was going to, fare in AEW in matches and, to have, a young guy like Darby Allin as a buffer. It's definitely, I think, the right way to go. I do like the matchup between, him and Darby Allin as far as, come on, it's Sting 20 years ago. From a perspective, young guy, a lot of charisma. The fans seem to love him. And the thing is, we're in such a totally different place than we were when Sting first came out. Even Sting is at such a different place than when Sting first came out, as far as having the spiked hair and then having because I think about it like this. If Sting still was the guy with the spiked hair, he wouldn't be working.
No. Okay.
He wouldn't be working. Then Sting transformed. I always say you got to know how to keep up with the times or the times that pass you by. Sting say, man, I better, I'm getting older. Got to figure out how am I going to, keep this thing going and then create something that's going to last perhaps, for a very, very long time. Putting the paint on, man, I wish I'd have thought of that idea. But, I'm serious. Cover up everything. You know what I mean? Comic Cons, whatnot.
Forever young.
Forever young. I'm serious. I like the pairing. Darby Allin. I don't know how this thing's gonna go, but you got a kid that can that definitely don't mind going out there and taking bumps. Let's just say that.
Coffin drop. On the apron,
everything,
crazy.
Everything. The kid, but there again, he is, what I think makes, the combination work. Sting, Darby Allin, for me, great way for Sting to come in. Team Taz, that right there got to be
Ricky Starks, Brian Cage.
Brian Cage, he's a monster. That guy's a monster.
there again with Taz. Say what you want about Taz, but Taz is a pretty damn good manager.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, I can actually say that Taz is a pretty damn good manager. He makes you believe in that tough, New Jersey, bad guy, New York street guy walking around, with some muscle, looking to, you roll somebody. That's the way they talk, in the bar.
I'll take your word for it.
You know what I mean? So, but I definitely like. I'm not. I gotta say, I'm not quite sold on Ricky Starks shit. Okay. He's got to get a little bit more dirt on him or something. But as far as Team Taz, I do like the element of it, and I think it's got legs.
When you said on the show before, when you got to a WCW taping one time and you looked at the run sheet and it said Booker T versus Ric Flair, you were like, oh man, I'm getting to work Ric Flair tonight. This is awesome. This is the guy that I used to watch coming up, and everything. I'm sure Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, and Darby Allin, when they get to the building to do this match, whether it's going to be in the ring or a cinematic match, whatever it is, they're going to be like, guys, we're working with Sting tonight. This is so cool, right? Because you have to imagine in their wildest dreams, they never would have thought they'd be in a match with Sting, WCW legend, WWE Hall of Famer, Sting, still wrestling at 61, incredible. So I'm excited to see. I don't know. Have they said if it's going to be cinematic or not? That's what I've been hearing.
I haven't heard if it's going to be cinematic or not, but either way, I think I would definitely buy into it.
Well, I know cinematic was the plan for Sting coming in. That's what he said. He said he agreed to.
I remember like what you just said right there with all those guys, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Darby Allin, of course, they're working with two legends, in Sting as well as Taz. And for me, I remember when I had my match, about a year ago, and I was wondering, man, who am I going to have this match with? I really didn't know who I was going to have that match with. And Rex Andrews, one of my students, he walked into my office. He said, "Book, can I talk to you?" And I go, "Yeah, man. What's up?" He goes, "Hey, man, I hear you thinking about, coming back and having another match." And I go, "Yeah, man, I'm thinking about it." He goes, "Man, I'm your guy, man." He said, "Man, I'll take care of you, bro. I'll make sure, bro. I'll take care of you, man." And I was like, that made me feel so good, man, because I had one of my students that knew that, my life was going to be in his hands. But more importantly, he wanted to make sure that he did the job to make sure that he took care of me. You know what I mean? So I was like, man, that's pretty awesome. So definitely I'm hoping that's the way those guys are thinking, going out there, working with someone like Sting. Hey, man, this is a night for us, man. Let's first and foremost, let's go out here and take care of this guy. Because, hey, that's what we do. In the business, take care of him and make sure he looked better than he ever looked before. That's what the wrestling business has always drove itself on, and that's what I always loved about it more than anything.
By the way, as we speak, Shaquille O'Neal is wrestling Cody Rhodes inside the AEW ring right now on national television. There's a shot of Shaq making his entrance into the Dynamite arena, if you will. We'll see.
Shaq Diesel look jacked too, don't he?
Shaq Diesel looks pretty good. Look at him.
Look at the arms. Look at the arms. Look at the chest. Look at the shoulders. Look at the trapezius. You look at the head. You know what I mean? The jowl.
Look at the head. I mean, that head looks in shape. That's an in-shape head.
Look at the waistline. Look at the waistline. I mean, you can see a little bit of it. It got a little curvature.
Little definition.
A little curvature in there. Look at the lat spread. The brother looked like he's been in the gym training. He's been on that Nugenics, and it is working. It's working for him.
Nugenics. Whatever he's doing, he needs to give it to Chuck. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Barkley doesn't look like the Barkley old. I got love for Chuck.
Now look, Barkley ain't the type to work out at the gym. He ain't never been the type to put in any time inside of a workout room working out on the tread. You can look at him and tell that that's not what he do on a regular basis. Give him a slab of ribs, brother can go all day. You know what I mean? I'm serious. Sonny's ribs, man, I'm serious, man. Some of that sauce on it. You know what I mean? Brother got all kind of stuff on his lip.
But another match going down at AEW Revolution, I feel like we could touch on before we move to UFC. Chris Jericho and MJF challenging for the AEW Tag Team Championships against the Young Bucks. That should be good. That should be a good match.
Yeah, that should be good too, man. Like I say, the Young Bucks, those guys have shown me that they could actually work.
Yeah, they're good.
I'm not gonna, sit here and say anything that the internet is going to pick up or anything like that. But those guys go out and they work their butts off, and they are a really good tag team. And to let their style be seen the way it's being seen right now, I think the world should see it. I really do. Is the style different? Of course. But there again, the style should be different, as well as every match on the card should not be the same, So those guys go out, they put on a hell of a performance. Acrobats, they definitely are. Some of the moves that they do takes some of the best timing and precision that you can have to actually be able to pull off.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't do, some of the stuff that these guys go out there. I've never been able to think about doing some of the stuff these guys go out there and do. And if they can do it and pull it off and forget about hurting someone else, hurting themselves for as long as they've done it, they've obviously mastered, their craft. So big ups. Want to see how that thing turned out. We'll definitely see. But guys, we got to talk about UFC, man. UFC 259 going down this weekend. Israel Adesanya moving up in weight to challenge for the light heavyweight championship against Jan Blachowicz. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's going to be real good. The thing is, can Israel Adesanya move up in weight and still take all of that dynamicness with him? Can he move up in weight and take all of that elusiveness with him? Can he move up in weight and shake up the world in 2021? We're going to find out this weekend. We got to talk about it first. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Brian, I know you're actually one of the most underrated talents that's ever been inside a reality wrestling ring, but you're not the talent. Me beating you, becoming the greatest reality wrestling champion, it's not personal, it's inevitable.
Brian Keith! Cody number 1, 2! He did it! Dreams do come true!
This is the bounty of all bounties. Are you ready to cowboy up?
Brian Keith, after all these years, cashing in and becoming the new reality of wrestling heavyweight champion. It was an awesome night. But this business, guys, has always been built on rematches.
You want your rematch? I'm a fighting champion.
You don't work hard like I do. You don't want this like I do. What do you want? Family? I'll bring your snot-nosed kids, your wife, your old ass.
I just want to let both of you guys know something. This match will be held inside the steel cage.
Lives get changed inside that match. Inside that structure, no one comes out the same.
Will history repeat itself? Will lightning strike twice?
Brian Keith is 15 feet in the air. Brian Keith from up top. Unbelievable cover. No break.
And Ryan Davidson, I'm here to answer the call.
You get mauled.
Jump! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. UFC 259 going down this weekend, and definitely it's going to be a awesome card. At least 3 of the fights on the card. Starting with Petr Yan, Aljamain Sterling. That fight is definitely going to be good. Amanda Nunes against Megan Anderson. That fight right there, we're going to talk about that, as well as the main event, Israel Adesanya versus Blachowicz.
Also, Dominic Cruz is going to be on the main event of the ESPN Plus card that takes place before the main card on pay-per-view, making his return.
Going to be on the prelims.
Yeah.
Prelims.
And you know what's interesting is, and I know this isn't our main topic, but I saw earlier I guess he has a beef with the referee that normally refs his fights, and so he's actually put in a formal request to not get that referee. I don't know if that should be a thing or not, but I thought that was interesting. I've never heard of a fighter saying, I'm going out of my way to not get this referee.
I mean, I've heard of it that before. I mean, in boxing, I've heard of it, not in the UFC, but definitely it can be warranted just because, you've seen referees make questionable calls in the UFC, and sometimes, when you're in a fight, man, you want every advantage you possibly can, and every fair advantage you possibly can. But when you see a guy, lock his feet, his toes in the fence, and certain referees don't say nothing about it, people can get hot. Yeah, that's another story though. But let's talk about the Sterling versus Yan fight, man. That fight right there is going to be a really, really good fight. We was talking about guys cleaning out the division, like Bobby Lashley, cleaning out the whole division, becoming something special. Now let's talk about Petr Yan cleaning out the division. Aldo, Favor, Rivera, Dodson, his last 4 victims, and pretty much ran through those guys relatively easy. I think Sterling, Sandhagen, Munoz, Rivera, his last 3. And coming off of his last fight against Sandhagen, after we saw what Sandhagen did with Frankie, that right there, it tells me that this kid has grown in the UFC quite substantially over his last maybe 3 to 4 or 5 years. I mean, he was a kid, and now Sterling is a bona fide UFC fighter. He's a bona fide UFC contender. What do you think? Is this, what kind of chances is he going to have going against Petr Yan after we, there again, watch what Yan has been total destruction.
Yeah.
Okay? He has been total destruction. Even, Triple C saying, I might have to come back, Cejudo. So I might have to come back and stop this guy. But what do you think about Aljamain Sterling's chances in that fight?
Well, I mean, he is on a win streak. Aljo is, but when you look at and we know what Cody Sandhagen just did, obviously, but when you look at the talent on paper that Aljamain has had to fight, as opposed to what Yan has had to go through, Jan's had to go through the top dogs. Right. I mean, when you beat a guy like Jose Aldo, you're going through the best that the division has. Yes.
Yeah, but one thing I think about with the Jose Aldo fight, and I think about the Uriah Faber fight. Those guys were, they had been through many wars before Petr Yan got a hold to him. Faber shouldn't have even been in the octagon with Petr Yan going for the championship. Let's just get that out there. Jose Aldo, he was coming off of a loss, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a win, but before that, a loss to actually being a title shot with Petr Yan. But there again, Aldo looked pretty good in the first round, okay, when he had some stamina, when he looked like he could actually move and get off his shots, the way he wanted to. He looked like the Jose Aldo of old for about 5 minutes, okay?
Round 1.
Yeah, exactly my point. Now, the thing is, I think the difference with this guy, Aljamain Sterling's a young guy, man. He's not going to be like Uriah Faber. He's not going to be like, Jose Aldo, he's not going to be looking to, just try to, boom, come out and blitz this guy and try to get him out of there quick or anything like that. I really think Aljamain Sterling has got a really good chance at going out. He's the underdog and upsetting Petr Yan. I really feel that way.
Look, in that division, we've seen it before that anything can possibly happen. Yan just seems to be a guy who's the man on the mission and doing what you just said that he's on his way of doing, is clearing out the entire division. Aljo is maybe one of the last one or two guys that he has to go through and finally put his stamp on it. Like, I own this, and I wonder if he's going to pull what every other champion does and says, now I'm going to move up and wait and go for another title. But I'm going to go with Yan on this one. I really think Yan's going to pull it off.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, man, I'm sure this fight can go either way, but
it's a bit of a toss up in those situations. I tend to side with the champion.
But I just think Petr Yan he's fought tough guys, but you look at a guy like John Dobson, a guy that's been in that division for years trying to win the championship, just never have been able to. Jimmy Rivera, another guy that's been just fighting and struggling and scratching. Uriah Faber, man, please just put me in a title shot. Try to get a belt on me any kind of way. I need one before I get out of here. Jose Aldo trying to scratch his way back to the top of the division, knowing that he's just too old to actually do it. Those are the guys that Petr Yan has wasted over his last 4 fights, opposed to Sandhagen, Munoz, and Rivera, who's in that same class as well. But my thing is, it could go either way. I think my prediction is going to come out the end being right.
We'll see.
We shall see. Amanda Nunes taking on Megan Anderson. Megan Anderson. Okay.
Inside of 2 minutes, this is over. Inside of 2 minutes, this is over.
Well, she lost to Felicia Spencer. She lost to Holly Holm. She's on a 2-fight win streak.
Yeah, Buck. I mean, she beat Norma Viana.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Top championship contender, Norma Viana. All due respect.
This is the bone. This is the bone right here.
Yeah.
Because there again, Amanda Nunes has pretty much cleaned out the division as well. I mean, who's there for Amanda Nunes to fight? Now,
nobody.
If they had adopted the way I think and go out and have these kind of fights earlier, and then perhaps throw the bigger fish in there a little bit later, of course, I think that will work out a whole lot better for the UFC, especially when you have a division like the bantamweight division, like the ladies, who don't have that many people to fight that will last a whole lot longer. We, the people, we get a whole lot more excitement as far as fights with that Amanda Nunes. Because there again, man, I used to love Jake the Snake. I didn't care who he was wrestling, long as I saw the DDT. In the same way I feel about Amanda Nunes. But when she get that big fight against Cyborg or somebody like that, you go, oh, shucky ducky quack quack. This is going to be better than all this fight. This is going to be a little bit different. Let's move on to the main event. Israel Adesanya, Blachowicz. What do you think about it?
Man, I've been going back and forth on this. I love everything that Izzy has done in the sport. He's undefeated for a reason. He's one of the most dynamic fighters we've seen in the last 5 or 10 years, maybe even longer than that. Going up in weight is always interesting. You see a guy who is absolutely extraordinary in their weight class, then they move up, and you see what happens. What happens when we saw when Conor moved up to 155, didn't really work out for Max Holloway. Even better example, someone who's massively dominant at 145, maybe the best featherweight of all time, and Dustin Poirier has no problem with him, right? Yeah. That's one of the things that I worry about when we see someone like Israel going up in weight. And what we've seen from Yan, the man's the real deal.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the real deal. When he went out there and he dusted off Dominic Reyes.
Yep.
Yeah, and this Dominic Reyes is coming off the fight where we thought he beat John Jones in the Toyota Center, right?
He's got a mean kick.
Mean.
That body kick looks strong. His legs are huge. He doesn't look like he's the greatest fighter, that one can fight. But when you watch him inside the octagon, he does everything, right. that's what I'm a little bit nervous about.
That's what I'm nervous. I'm rooting for Izzy. I am rooting for Izzy.
He's been okay, but now moving up to the light heavyweight division, he's been able to defend a takedown. Will he be able to defend a takedown in this situation? A whole lot could play out in this fight right here. I'll be pulling for Israel Adesanya to win, just because we know John Jones is lurking in the wings.
Have you seen Jones, by the way, lately?
The brother he looks like a cyborg. He looks like he's ready to do something. He looks. I'm not going to say it, yeah. I've seen him, guys. We got to get up out of here, man. It's been an awesome night hanging out with all of you guys, as always. Bradley, as always, it's been another night of fun. But I got to get ready, man. I got to get ready for my tea time. Black Horse! My boy just texted me. He said, man, he's going to have all the fireball on ice, and we're going to do it like it's supposed to be done. Make him pay, my son. Hey, guys, we'll see you next week. We out of here. Can you dig it?